The year is 2018. You've just got interested in trying to get into Modern. You are obsessed with Boros. Comes along a fun build. I saw this on MTG Goldfish. It focuses on using Gideon of the Trials and his You Cannot Lose the Game emblem ability. Then play a whole bunch of Gideons, and hopefully you don't lose the game. To win the game, you will try to use a very powerful effect that red will have access to, like extra turns, with a significant downside, you lose the game. In combination with Gideon of the Trials, we will not lose the game, because the emblem says we can't lose the game. It works pretty well. The year is 2025. The new Spider-Man set comes out to mixed reviews. For some odd reason, you are drawn to a lot of the legendary creatures in this set. You have an inside joke with a buddy, so you start looking into a Miles Morales build. A lot of the lists online use builds that take advantage of Miles' ability to do a doubling season on creatures in general. He doubles all counters, which is something very unique. This means you can take advantage of some very standout-ish cards that make counters that aren't just +1/+1 counters. A lot of people notice this, and notice that it works really well with planeswalkers that can turn into creatures. Specifically, Gideon, Ally of Zendikar, and Gideon Blackblade. You start basically net decking the deck and start figuring out it's just a generic counters deck. But the Gideons look fun. Miles is Naya, which means we have red. So that Boros Modern deck enters your mind once again. Something to know about myself is I do not really like counter decks in paper. It's a lot of accounting on a board with a whole bunch of dice, and it gives me a lot of anxiety because I tend to bounce into the table. I decided to make an exception here since it looked like the deck was going to be very aggressive, so I didn't feel like I was going to have 50 planeswalkers just kind of sitting off to the side. They seem to be either being interacted with the board or interacting with the board. Boop, boop, boop. The goal of the deck, it's basically just a hidden commander for Gideon of the Trials. You play a whole bunch of planeswalker tutors because we're in white. So you go and find Gideon ASAP, use his 0 ability, get that emblem, and then just coast on all the Gideons that you have in the deck. We're in commander, so we have access to a whole lot of funny abilities that say, do something really broken, you lose the game. We don't lose the game, we have an emblem. Remember that? That's the video. Win? Maybe? I don't, it's not that good. We're not really chaining extra turns. It's more of value to get extra combats and extra +1/+1 counters. It really is just to get us into a later game where we can pop off with a Miles later. Yeah. Okay. Fun cards in the deck are Gideons that aren't Gideon. Sarkhan the Masterless and the Dragon Spear are really cool Sarkhans that turn our planeswalkers into dragons, which means Miles will double their loyalty counters. It's nothing different. Grandmaster of Flowers is a planeswalker that turns into a really cool dragon from D&D. A card that I have never really seen play in a deck now gets a home here, and that is something I love to see. A really busted artifact in this deck is Luxior. It allows us to turn any planeswalker in the deck into a creature and really take advantage of this whole double counters thing that we got going on. A weakness of the deck is that Gideon cannot attack the turn that he has played. He's still affected by Summoning Sickness. We want to give them haste. Lucky for us, there's some really cool planeswalkers that give haste, so that can go with the strategy of the deck. Samut, Tyrant Smasher, and the original Sarkhan Ball both give us a haste enabler. At the end of the day, this is a planeswalker deck, so playing just good stuff counters cards are still good. Lizelle giving us an additional loyalty counter. Resourceful Defense, making it so that when our planeswalkers and Navally get punched in the face, we can then reuse the counters. And then really busted cards like Chain Veil and Doubling Season don't even feel that powerful in the deck because the deck is just Gideons at the end of the day. While we're getting to know me a little bit, I love AJANI, and since we're in Naya and have access to green-white, I really want to play a whole bunch of AJANIs while we're here. So we play a whole bunch of them that give us value A whole lot of the AJANIs have like top deck a creature or planeswalker, which is really good for us. It's a way to draw in these colors. And then they usually have some kind of removal effect on a lot of them, which is really nice. The Aethervolt one is one of my favorite AJANIs from my past, and it just has Swords to Plowshare. So if you can use that twice, it feels really good, and you can in this deck, and that's really cool. That's the thing that I'm running into this deck while playing it a whole lot, is it's just cool to see it do unique things that I typically don't get to see in my Commander games. If you've ever played a Planeswalker deck before, you know that protection cards like Ghostly Prison do not work on Planeswalkers. It says protect you, and you're not that guy. That guy is buff. You're not that guy. You're not that guy. Lucky for us, there are some really cool white creatures that give protection to Planeswalkers. Baird, the guy with the beard, he protects our Planeswalkers. As well as this Thickum gives protection to our Planeswalkers, which we need because you're going to be getting punched in the face as soon as you play one card that says you gain an extra turn on it. Boon of Safety is a really cool instant. It only targets creatures, but it gives them a shield counter. So what you do is you target Gideon with it while he's a creature, and then when he goes back to being a Planeswalker, he keeps the shield counter on him. So when he inevitably gets punched, it just breaks the shield counter instead, so you get a one-time protection. Or is it? Because with Miles, he doubles counters, which means we have multiple shield counters, which means you can just continuously protect one specific Gideon that you really like. The next card is Defit. I'm probably gonna say this card's name wrong, so I'm not gonna say it, but it's another protection spell for our Gideons, which is very nice. We're playing Planeswalker deck, which means creature board wipes are good. They feel bad, but they feel really good. Also, Gideon usually has indestructible, so creature board wipes don't even affect him. It's sometimes a feel bad. But we need win cons in this deck. We need to win somehow. Which bracket does this deck fall into? Right about here. It's something between a 2 and a 3. We technically don't play any game changers. It is a Planeswalker deck, which means it's super glass cannon-y, if that makes sense. You might have a really cool, powerful turn, but then everyone just looks at you. And when you're the bad guy in a Planeswalker deck, you're very easy to deal with because they just then turn their cool creatures sideways and punch your Planeswalkers and they're dead. You have to be aggressive with the deck and proactive, but then when you do that, you look scary, which means people kill your stuff. So yeah, something between 2 and 3. Speaking of bracket 3, you can easily upgrade this deck by adding some game changers to it. Cards like Teferi's Protection would feel busted in this deck. Just like we just said, we're super volatile to attacks, and this makes it so we're not. You can play cards like Enlightened Tutor to go get cards like Doubling Season, so that Miles isn't even that needed. But that's personal preference and flavor. That's up to you and your play group and what you're trying to achieve with the deck. I feel like the deck is achieving what I want from it and being in this weird hodgepodge between a high 2 and a low 3. If you go to a bracket 3 game, you will probably not win that game though, but you'll do one cool extra turn thing and everyone will be like, that was cool, and then they'll kill you. And if that's all you want, like I do, cool. I typically do not build unique decks. I'm someone that net decks a really cool deck to me, to my personal preference, and then I modify it to match my play style or add in pet cards that I really enjoy playing. That is me as a player, and I've been fine with that. But once in a while, I can build a really unique deck, it feels like. And I feel like that's what this is, and I wanted to share it with you guys. I know that there are other deck lists online like this, but when I went on like EDH Rec, at the time there was 2 decks. When you'd go to Miles, Planeswalker, there was like 2 at the time. Now there's like 4 or 5, and I think mine's on there. In the description, you will be able to get access to my Archidekt list. I guess I might as well make a Moxfield list of it in case that's your preferred website. If you'd like to support me, you can hit up Triple Rare. It is my TCG Accessories brand. I have some really cool Magic the Gathering ideas coming down the pipeline, and I'm really excited for this new venture I'm going down, and thank you for being here. That's all I've got.